Hey guys, so we're jumping into episode number 4 of the Dragon Ball Legends Beginner's Guide. We are, now 2.5 days away from the reveals for the 7th anniversary character. I wonder who it's going to be, man. Complete mystery.
I wonder if I'm going to be very excited about the characters that are coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be mysterious. So let's go ahead and talk about equipment in this video. Equipment is certainly one of the more divisive topics of this game. There are a lot of questionable ways to get better rolls on equipment, and a lot of it is not very fun or interesting. But I will do my best to give some tips and advice on getting the best equipment and rolling equipment. So what we want to do, because Toon here does have a Daima team ready to go, we're going to go into your character lists on the bottom left. You should have your team set up here. And as you can see, we have essentially 0 equipment on the team. So the best way to do this is, first of all, I think we should just explain what equipment is. So on the bottom right, there's an equipment button we can click. And this will open up your equipment collection screen. And this will have all of the equips that you have on your account. You can sort them in different ways. Right now, we have them sorted by order received, which is actually the way I do it as well. I think it's just the easiest way to remember things. And you can also filter by different things. If you open up the filter, this is a better way to explain it. So let's just start with the rarities of equipment. So there are a bunch of different equipment rarities. Back in the early days of the game, bronze and silver equips actually were pretty good. There were some pretty good bronze and silver equips, but nowadays you basically never use those. The top row of this, iron, bronze, and silver, you will just never use, basically. Gold equips.
Wait, what is iron? Is that lower than bronze?
Iron is like, I think it's like, you know, like the car equip that you start with. I think that's what that's iron.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't even know why that exists. But gold equips are basically the standard rarity for equips at this point in the game. They're just the standard, you know, the gold borders around the equipment. That's what a gold equip is. Then we have unique equips. Those typically are some of the more powerful equipments in the game, but they're also the more resource intensive equips. So we will actually be trying to get some good unique equips in this video for the Daima team, and I'll show you guys how in a little bit. But event equips really also aren't a thing anymore. There used to be specific equips for events where you would be able to get bonus drops from raids by having them equipped, and they would actually do nothing else but besides just giving you bonus drops, but they stopped doing that, so I don't even know why that exists. And then we have platinum. Platinum equipments are exclusively, as of right now, we only have platinum equipments for summonable ultra characters. And what the goals of platinum equipments are is they are insanely powerful equips, but they're specifically for like certain ultra. I believe you actually have one. We could show this if you go just cancel out of this menu. So you can see the rose equip. If you just long hold on the rose equip, it'll show you what the equipment is actually able to do. Platinum equipments are the only equipments in the game that have 4 slots, and they are just extremely powerful. Now, the thing with these is I don't like, this is, okay, so again, I mentioned that some parts of the equipment system are very questionable. Here's the first questionable part of the equipment system. Specifically for platinum equipment, slot 4, you can see that it says unlocked at 7 stars. So you can equip this platinum equipment on Ultra Rose at any star level. But if he's not 7 stars or above, you will not receive the benefit of this slot 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that is not a very good system. I hate that system. I don't think it should exist. But it is an insane... And the thing with this as well is slot 4 is going to be the most powerful effect that you get from the equipment as well. So it is pretty gate kept here, but it's a very, very strong ability that he's going to be getting from this. And the nice thing about platinum equipments, though, is once you get the character, you will just get the platinum equipment for free from a mission. So there's no rolling, there's no grinding for it. You just receive the equipment. And the other nice thing about it is that when you scroll up, go to like the first slot, just as an example. Typically, when you click on the details of a slot under where it says obtainable effects, it will show you the range of what you can roll on the equipment. For platinum equipment, there isn't a range. There is just a set number. So there's actually no rolling involved with this. You just automatically get the best rolls. So there are some pros and cons with these, but when it comes to platinum equipment, I think the biggest problem people have with them and the biggest issue is just that the fact that the last most powerful effect is locked behind 7 stars. So yeah, that's just a quick breakdown of the rarities of equipment. If you close out of this and we go back to the filter, the next thing to talk about is going to be the rank of the equipment. And as you can see, it goes from F to that blue symbol on the bottom, which is just a denomination for what's considered to be godly equipment. They actually added the godly rank like pretty, not, I don't, at this point it wasn't really that recently, but I think it's within the past 2 years that they added that. So that is the highest possible rank of equipment. And the way that an equipment gets ranked is based on the total amount of the total values of all the slots, and how close those values are to the maximum value of the equipment. So if you cancel out of this, and we'll just take a look at some of the equips that you have. So you see the blue Kaukin equip you have in the middle-ish. Yeah, that one. Just long hold on this. And we can see, so if you click on the slot 1 obtainable effects, it'll show the maximum possible value of the slot 1 is 20, and you have a 19.5% roll, which is very, very high. Another way you can just very quickly tell whether or not a slot is rolled very highly or not is by the actual color of the slot on the equip icon itself. You see how there's 3 bubbles in the bottom?
Yeah.
There's 3 red bubbles. Red is the highest, I guess, tier of color you could have on the bubble for the equipment. There's green, yellow, or gold, and red are the 3 colors you can have on an equipment. Red is the highest, meaning it's closest to the highest value possible. Gold is like still very high, but not quite red. And then everything under that is just green. So because you have red slots on all 3 bubbles, you're going to have a godly equip, because it's just super, like all the, if you click on just the other slots as well, the obtainable effects, all 3 of these slots are rolled very, very closely to the maximum value for each slot. So this would be considered a very highly rolled equipment. And this is ideally what you would want to get. The only problem with this is it is very tough and time intensive and resource intensive to roll equipment this high, this closely to the highest possible rolls for each slot. So if you close out of this, and then let's find an equipment that's like also not very good. If you scroll down, keep going, I'll see if I can find one. So that Vegeta one on the right where it's an S. I wouldn't really consider this to be not very good, but it's obviously not going to be a godly rank. So if see the first slot is gold instead of it being red. So this is still pretty close. 11.55% out of 12%. It's still pretty close. I think if you get like
crazy that's considered medium.
Yeah, red is like right near the highest possible value. It's like very close. Middle is 12.75 out of 15, and then the bottom is 14.7 out of 22. Yeah, so I think what's holding this back from being a Z rank probably is the slot 3, because if you just do like 14.7 divided by 22, it's going to be pretty low in terms of the percentage of how close it is. But yeah, that's essentially just an overview of what the ranking system is for equipment. So if you close out of this and go back into the filter, I just want to make sure there's something else we need to explain here. Just like scroll through this. Yep. So the rest of it is talking about conditions. Okay, so yeah, we can cancel out of this. The other thing to note about equipment is I just click into like the Vegito beating Zamasu equip on the bottom. Yeah. And go to the bottom where it says equipment conditions. There are always going to be conditions to equip equipment onto characters. So for this equipment in particular, you need to be both. You see how there's a line connecting those 2 tags, or tags and attributes? There is a line connecting Fusion Warrior and Red. What that means is you have to be both a Fusion Warrior and a Red character in order to equip this. If you are a Fusion Warrior and a yellow character, you will not be able to use this. So you have to meet the requirements of both of those attributes in order to be able to equip this, which is, it seems pretty specific, but this is actually like this equipment came out 2 years ago, and it's actually still pretty good.
Yeah, for a unique equip, I mean, this is pretty standard, right, in terms of conditions?
Yeah, unique equips, like I said, are pretty strong, but usually they're pretty specific, and usually they are pretty hard to get good rolls on. This one, yeah, I mean, you just pull that one back up. That one was, Universe Rep in yellow. This one is Fusion Warrior and Super Saiyan. There are some general ones, like there are ones that are just like Saiyan, But then let me just see if there's any that you have that are like this. Go back up to the top. Let me see. You might not actually, if you go all the way to the bottom, I think I saw one. Keep going. That PyCon equip that you have on the left. Yeah, so sometimes they'll have pretty general conditions, like any sagas from the movies character can equip this, but then sometimes what will happen is the equipment will actually have further conditions in the slots. So in slot 3, it says you get 9.75% to strike defense when a defense type character is a battle member. So even though you can equip the equipment because you meet the condition as a Sagas from the Movies character, you might not still be able to get all the equipment effects from the slots because there might be additional conditions within the slots themselves. So that is something else to remember. All right, so we can close out of that. So what we are going to do here is we are going to try and get some decent equips for the Daima team. Luckily for us, there are actually pretty good stages we can go to in the Ultimate Equipment Collection event, which we talked about in the last video. So if you want to go to the events screen and then go over to upgrade, there should be, yep, the Ultimate Equipment Collection at the top, this one. And then I think if you scroll down, like sort of close to the middle, there should be Daima, and then there should be Daima 2 as stages here. So there's actually
Daima 2.
Yeah,
yep.
there are 2 Daima stages in here. So just open the first one, and if you go to rewards, this you can take a look and see what the equip actually does before you farm it, just to make sure that's it's actually what you want to get. So this one is pretty basic, but I actually think it's pretty decent. It's giving you 10% health. Typically, when it comes to equipment, health is very good. You can't really go wrong with having health on an equipment. It's one of the more premium stats you generally look for on an equip, so this is good. 10% health. This is giving 30% to base strike attack and 30% to base blast attack. So I probably will explain like all the different stats you can get on equipment after this, but this is going to be pretty solid. It's a pretty all-around equip. You're getting some survivability in the form of HP from slot 1, and then you're also getting offenses from slot 2 and 3 in the base offenses. You can also get defenses. You can also get like special move damage, which is your blue card damage. You can get ultimate damage. And then there are some more advanced things you can get on these equips, which I'll talk about later. But for now, I think what we want to try and do is we want to just try and get 3 of these that are decently rolled. Now, before we do this, for most people watching this video who have pretty limited resources for energy, for skip tickets, what I would say is it probably actually is better to not even try and farm good equips right now. And the reason why I say this is because during the anniversary, which is just 2 or 3 days away from when this video goes live, most likely we will have what is called an equipment upgrade bonanza. And what that is actually what we can do is we can just go ahead and start doing these. You can start run this event. Once we do this once, it'll unlock the skip. We can do the skips for it. So you got to beat it once normally first. What an equipment upgrade bonanza is it is a game-wide blanket campaign that will increase the rolls on each slot of an equipment. So when we beat this event, you'll see that we'll get a drop for the equip. I actually kind of wish there was a bonanza up right now to show you guys this, but it's pretty easy to understand. You can turn on 3 times speed or whatever and just crush this guy.
I mean, I wanted to show off my skills, but
all right, yeah, go ahead, man. Show us that charge step. You got it.
Oh my God, did I do it?
You almost had it. It was a little bit low, a little bit slow.
Oh man, dude, I'd been practicing that.
You actually almost had it the first try. That was pretty good. All right, you got him. Good job, man. You almost had the charge.
I'm getting good, bro. Okay, I'm so proud of that. Oh my God. I just pulled that out of nothing. Actually, I had a question. Before I forget, I wanted to ask you.
Yep.
When it comes to the equips and like the stats that they boost, is there ever such a thing as an equip that can give you more than just the 3 like different slots, like the different traits? Can one slot give you health, strike attack, and something else, and then the second one do 3 things? No.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, there is. Okay. So those would be better, right?
Well, I mean, it just depends on what the character you're putting it on, and it depends on what the values are. Like if you have a slot 2 that's giving you 2% HP, 2% strike, 2%, like it's not gonna matter, right? As opposed to 30%.
Okay.
And it's also going to depend on the character you're putting it on too. Like if you have a character that is like mega strike focused and they basically do like 0 blast damage, then you're not really going to want blast damage on your equip for that character, right?
So it really is an individual case-by-case thing where you have to know like exactly what each one needs.
Yeah, and most of the time you just will know that by using the character and looking at their stats. Like if a character has 30,000 higher strike attack than blast attack, you're probably going to want to give them strike equips.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we can start skipping this. So let's just do like a normal like 5 skip or 10 skip on this one. Yeah, do a 10 skip, and then we'll see what we get. It's not a guaranteed equipment drop every time you run the event or skip the event. As you can see, we only got, 6 equips, even though we skipped it 10 times. So if you just click into one of these, doesn't really matter which, and you take a look at slot 1. So we have a 7.45% HP roll out of 10%. So during an equipment upgrade bonanza, that 7.45% HP roll would actually get an additional bonus percentage increase on top of the 7.45%. So the purpose of an equipment upgrade bonanza is it makes it easier to get higher rolls on each slot of an equipment. And that applies to equipment you're farming from events. It applies to the upgrades for slots 2 and 3. And it also applies to equipment that you're going to buy from the exchange shop. So if you just buy an equipment from the exchange shop while a bonanza is up, it will also apply the bonus to the percentages. So it really doesn't make a ton of sense when we're super close to the anniversary to go ahead and start farming like all these crazy equips right now. But for the purpose of this guide, we will show this. Now, in terms of what we're trying to go for, here is where a lot of people, I would say, overdo it with the equipment system. If I'm a new player and I have very limited access to resources, I think a good general rule of thumb for equipment is you probably want to try and get to around what I would say 80% of the max roll of each slot is probably a good ballpark value to aim for. So this first slot is 10% health. So I think what we should try and look for is an equipment that has 8% health in slot 1. That's what we should try and look for. So what we can do here, because we have a surplus of energy, I would just say go ahead and skip, because we need 3 of these too. I would say just go ahead and skip like 50 times. You can use the arrow on the right and it'll like adjust to the intervals if you want. Yeah, it's fine. Yep. And if we get lucky, we'll get an equip that has a gold slot 1. Looks like we're not getting super lucky here. Oh, there's one.
Oh, we got one.
Nice. Yeah, so what you can do now is what I would do is I would click on that equip with a gold slot 1. It actually sorts it by highest value for you. And then I would click favorite, and what that will do is that will lock the equipment and it'll prevent you from accidentally selling the equip. And then you can take a look at the next one that will have the next highest value in there. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I would just keep do another 50 skip here. Yep. We've been farming a lot of events. We have a lot of energy here.
Yep.
Oh, you got, wow, that was so
did I get nothing on that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen that before. If you just click, yeah, again, it's already sorted from like highest to lowest, so we got, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I would favorite this. And then maybe check the next one. Okay, yeah, so maybe do like a 20 skip, because we only need one more now. All right, let's see what we get here. Okay, good. Yeah, just favorite this.
Another one.
Yep, that should be good. All right, so let's close out of this. Click OK. And then if we back out, there should be a second stage where we want to do there should be a second stage where we want to do the same exact thing. This equip is better than the one we just got. So if you want to take a look at this one before we jump in, just so we can see what we're going for. You can just click the arrow.
You can check it here. Okay, this one.
This is actually an equip that I use on my Diamond team. If I were gonna like use like a super powerful Diamond team, this is a really good equip still. This is 20% base blast defense, 15% special move damage, 15% health restoration, and then 35% base strike attack. So that middle slot, health restoration, basically just means any form of healing that you have. So for example, Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, let me just actually pull him up so I remember exactly what the number is, but he is healing himself every time he enters the battlefield, right? Let me pull him up so that I remember exactly what the percentage is. I think it's 15. Let's see. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Restores own health by 15%. So that is the base health restoration effect that Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku has in his unique ability. Because this is giving him an extra 15% health restoration, that is going to directly impact the amount of health he's getting when he enters the battlefield. So that's a pretty good effect to have because it's going to end up healing you more. Special move damage just goes directly into the amount of blue card damage the character is able to do, which is, again, really strong for Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And then, of course, strike attack is really good because it also... Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a very strike-oriented character. So this is a really, really good equip for Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So
we definitely have to bonanza this one, right?
Well, I mean, we could just try and get some of these now. It's not really that big of a deal. Again, I think... people go crazy over, oh, I need to have a godly equip or I need to have a red slot one. I think my rule of thumb for equipments is if you just try and go for 80% of the maximum value per slot, you'll probably end up somewhere between an S and a Z equip, and that is perfectly fine because all you're missing out on is 20% of the rest of the value of the slot, which is at the most, it's negligible. It really is. It's not that big of a deal. If you're trying to min-max your team and like, oh my God, I need to essentially show off to people that I have like maxed out equips or something.
Is that really? Sure. Yeah, I guess that's all it boils down to.
It really doesn't. I mean, unless you're frequently finding yourself just barely short of killing people, then I guess it could matter. But in the grand scheme of things, when you really look at the overall impact that last 20% really has, it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, for most people watching this, I would still say, yeah, it's better just to wait for a bonanza, which we should get soon. I also just want to show what it actually looks like building the team with equipment here.
Ah!
You got him. Nope.
Oops.
Red God Goku, huh?
My whole mojo's ruined.
This guy's old. Old.
Is he good? Oh my God, all my things are not working. What do you do?
That's Supreme Kai, yeah. This God Goku came out in 2018.
Bro, when I vanish, he seals my thing. Stop!
Yeah, this Supreme Kai...
I just pushed a blue card and he immediately sealed it. Oh my God, you're so annoying.
Yeah, he's annoying. He what this guy does is he actually seals certain cards depending on what he does. Yeah.
He dumped my entire hand.
You're getting pieced up by the Supreme Kai and the equipment collection.
Bro, this is so embarrassing. Stop doing that.
He paralyzed you, dude. Please get paralyzed. Yes.
Oh my God. Stop. Oh my. Is this normal for this fight?
This is a tough boss, man.
Oh my God. Dude, I keep pushing a button and he keeps turning it off.
You got him. You got him.
You suck, man. I think one of the challenges was do this without a casualty, right? I almost failed that.
We're good. You should be fine. There we go.
Without a single casualty, I almost died.
Oh! I actually forgot to show this. Go back into the event and go to the actually yeah right here. Can you click on those equipment medals? No. Oh, you can. Okay. So yeah, this is actually a pretty valuable resource that I'll show later in this video. But this is equipment. This is the equipment medal resource. This is an exchange shop menu that you can go to, and you can actually buy equipment from there. We'll actually do this later because there is some equipment that I do want to look at here. But yeah, close out of this. And then let's go ahead and do some skips here. I would say just do 50. Yeah. Yep.
Give me some red dot ones. How often does that happen without a bonanza?
It's going to be not very often. With a bonanza, you'll see them pop up here and there, but yeah, it's pretty uncommon unless you skip a lot. All right, let's just see. So 20%. So let's just do a quick calc. 20% times 0.8. So we're looking for about a About a 16 or 17% for slot 1, I would say. So yeah, just keep going. This equip, and this is also something that you guys will notice as you start farming more equipments, is each equip has its own rates per slot. Some equipments are really, really annoying to roll. Like some have super low rates. Like this equip easily has lower rates, I would say, than the other one we rolled. Probably. I haven't looked into it.
That's because it's better.
Yeah,
right?
it's usually how it works. Also, this is why I said at the beginning of the video that unique equipments typically have the most intensive resource consumption from like out of all the different rarities of equipment. Okay, this one's decent. This is at 16.4. You can favorite this one. Yeah, it's not bad. We can keep going. Yeah, you can do 100 if you want. Typically, unique equips are the hardest ones to roll. Infamously, the co-op unique equips are the most annoying because they just have the lowest rates. That's what's generally accepted at this point. Is the co-op unique equipments are really, really tough to get good rolls on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's see what you got here.
I'm hating this, dude.
Okay, that's not bad.
16.7.
But this, do you understand why I'm saying like don't be obsessed over getting like gold or red slots? It's not worth it.
I get it. Yeah.
Let's check what the next one is. The second one. Okay, yeah. I would just do a 50 because we only need one more now. If you can use the you see like the double arrows, that'll do it in increments of 10. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Come on, man. Give me
gold.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, that was a C. Okay.
Yep, that's good. Let's lock that up and check what the second one is. Just maybe it's better than the one we already got. Oh, that's a good one.
19.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah. No, okay.
Not even close.
Yeah, that should be good. All right, so let's close out. And let's go back to your equipment collection. And so what I would do here is because we've already just locked the equips that we already are going to roll, you can just go to the cell icon on the top right, and you can just click auto select, and it'll auto select everything. Yep. And you can just click sell on the bottom. Just sell them all. Yep, and do it again. You can only sell 50 at once, so.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Just keep going. Yep. Yep, boom. Okay. So now we have our equipment that we want to use on our team. So if you go back to the upgrade, you'll actually what you can do here is I would just click upgrade all on the right side. And then you just click all 6 of the equipments we got. Oh, do you not have, you might not have enough souls here because you probably didn't farm souls. So, okay, I mean, this is good to show. So you need the new souls to roll equips. So I think what we should do here is just close out of this and check what the color is to roll the other one. If you just click on like the Goku one, yep. If you actually close out of this and then uncheck upgrade all, and then just click on the one on the right. Okay, so you need greens for these and purples for the other ones. Okay, so what I would do is just go to the recycle center. You remember that? You remember where that is?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then go to souls, and then so we need green and purple, right?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't convert any of these.
Yeah, let's just convert these. So you're gonna need you need all 3. I think you need.
I mean, can I just convert all of them?
Yeah, you can just do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you're gonna need quite that many, but yeah, it's good to have.
Well, I mean, what else are they gonna be used for?
They actually I think they just changed this today. They increased the amount you could hold of the new souls from 100,000 to 500,000.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I don't think you're ever really gonna need that much, but yeah. Okay, wait. The only reason why I don't think it's a good idea to do this is if you keep going down, like, because I'm looking at like, is there like a separate section for the two? Yeah, there's a separate section for the 2s. It looks like because you're gonna need 2s as well. So keep going down. Yeah, keep going. No. Keep scrolling down. Yep, to the purple section. Yep. Oh, is it? Oh, actually, I've never actually checked this. It's probably by. Oh no, these are super. Oh, the super souls only give you the level 2s. I actually didn't even know that. The super souls give you the level 2 souls, and then I guess Zenkai souls give you the level 3 souls. So you might not have a ton of the level 3 souls here. So yeah, you actually can just exchange everything. Yeah, if you go back, yeah, okay. You can just do this. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, my heart stopped for a second. I got scared.
No, I actually didn't. I actually didn't realize that's how it worked. Yeah, so you know how there's only 3 levels of the new souls?
Yeah.
So it's the rising souls that you used to use. Those are converted to the level 1 of the new souls. The super souls are converted to the level 2 of the new souls, and then the Zenkai souls are converted to the level 3. I actually didn't realize that. That's good,
okay.
Good
so
to note.
I'll just need to go through and do this myself later.
I mean, you could just do it now. Just like convert every.
You want me to do all 3 levels for the purple?
Yeah. Just do all the purples and then do all the greens, and then we can go back and start rolling stuff. The constraint here is not going to be the souls, and most likely the constraint here is not going to be Zenny. For someone like you, or for most new players, the constraint is going to be equipment slot removers, which we will talk about in a second. So yeah, get all these. Yeah, do the greens too. Yeah, you're actually getting a ton of these. This is good though.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we started this before the soul boost stuff ended.
Yep. I mean, I told people, make sure you do this before it goes away. Hopefully they listened.
Dude, look at my CC now. All the missions I've been doing, my level has been skyrocketing.
Yep. We are getting ready to do the shallot episode for this guide. So we've been grinding the story, and we're about to get to the point where shallot can be upgraded to a sparking.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
All right, almost done. So the 3 resources it'll take to reroll equipment is souls, Zenny, and slot movers. For someone like me, Zenny is a huge issue, but probably is not going to be that big of a problem for you right now. Zenny is also something you could farm forever, but
yeah, that's what I've been kind of doing.
Yeah, slot removers are kind of more limited, so you kind of have to, because I think what happens to a lot of people is people will just blindly try and roll for like gold or red slots, and they'll end up using all of their slot movers on like 1 slot of 1 equip. Instead of like, it's what you want to do is you want to set a goal for yourself on the equip. Like, okay, not just like a gold slot or a red slot. Like, I want to just have this be this percentage. So yeah, now we can upgrade these. So the first time you upgrade each slot on an equipment, it is what it is. You can't change it. So if we go and upgrade these, yep. So we're going to go through this twice. You're going to upgrade slot 2, and then you're going to roll slot 3. Yep. And then do it one more time. Upgrade, yep. Okay, so we have our equipment kind of set up initially here. So now what you can do that you have the equipments all rolled is you can re-roll each of the slots, but if you go in, so click on the re-upgrade slot in the middle and the top, and if you try and click on the first equip, try and click on the first slot, notice how it okay, so you actually did you buy that, or did you already have that?
I don't know. I think I had that.
Okay, yeah, because you can see at the top left, you only have 3 of these. These are like probably the most exclusive items in the game, I would say, because the only way you can get these is by buying them. When this item first came out, I believe they gave everybody 3 as like a gift, but there is no way of obtaining these unless you buy them with real money from the shop. These are guaranteed first slot equipment upgrade items.
Oh, that's evil.
Yeah, so you typically are not allowed, and you cannot upgrade the first slots on each equipment. So that's why a lot of times people will consider the first slot on each equipment to be the most important role, because you can't re-upgrade those slots without this item.
And you need that, otherwise you can't get the godly equip or like Z plus in some cases, right?
Right. So again, I will just come back to this. A lot of people don't like the equipment system in this game. There's a lot of scummy things with the equipment system in this game. Yep. This is one of them. Yep. I don't really like the fact that you can't obtain these outside of the shop. I don't really get why, but It is what it is.
They're trying to make money, Gresh. What else?
Yeah, but yeah, there's a limit, right? Okay, so yeah, I would just close out of this. We're not going to use these here. So what we're really trying to focus on here is slots 2 and 3. And again, if we just long hold on the equipment, we could just take note of what the maximum rolls are for slot 2. Close out of this, and then just long hold on the actual icon, and then click on slot 2, and I think it's 15%, right? So again, general rule of thumb, probably around 80%. Like 80%. So you're probably looking for something like 12 in that second slot there is what we're trying to go for. So there are 2 different ways you can re-roll this. So if you click close, and then you click on the actual slot in the top, the middle slot. No. Right there. Yep. You can see that there is a guaranteed upgrade and a regular upgrade. Guaranteed upgrade will actually force the equipment to be upgraded once. Like it'll guaranteed get a better roll. And it should tell you, if you click on guaranteed upgrade, it should tell you what the actual roll is going to be.
Where do we? Oh.
Yeah. So don't actually click this, but it'll show you what the buff to the stats are going to look like. This,
only 0.35?
Yeah, so this is like super resource intensive. You can see it's 50 slot removers just to do it once. And it is a bunch of rare medals, and it is a bunch of equipment medals. I would say for right now, for a brand new player, it is not worth doing this. Another way you can do this is you close. And then you do the same thing we just did. Click on the second slot. Go to guaranteed upgrade. Alternatively, you can upgrade this with chrono crystals.
Oh my god, 200 CC?
Yeah, not recommended. Please do not do this unless you're me.
I was just gonna say, you've done this. How much have you spent on this?
A lot. Let's not talk about it. Don't do this. Later. Do not do this. If you are so I think the better way to play the game a lot of times is to pick one tag and just focus mostly on that team. And that becomes what is considered to be your quote unquote main team. If you have a main team and you're spending 80, 90, 95% of your time using that team, it might be worth it to invest more in guaranteed upgrades for the equipment you're using most of the time. In that case, I would say it's probably worth it to actually go ahead and guaranteed upgrade with the not the chrono crystals, the other stuff. But as of right now, for a beginner player, it's not worth using the guaranteed upgrade system, I don't think. So let's just go back to the re-upgrade section.
Is there ever like a temporary celebration bonanza where like the guaranteed upgrades do a little bit more for you?
No. So in a bonanza, guaranteed upgrades don't get affected. It's just like normal rerolls, like the normal re-upgrades. Yeah. Okay, so there is an interesting mechanic that they introduced. I would call this also relatively recently, where you can have, because sometimes these equips take many rerolls to get good rolls, you can have the system automatically stop on whether an equipment is a gold slot or a red slot. So if you just say like stop on orange, which is what we're going to click on, and you click on re-upgrade here.
Okay.
Yeah, click on it. Actually, yeah, so you see that little button on the bottom left that says batch upgrade? What that will do is it will just rapid fire through 30 upgrades in like 2 seconds. But if in that time slot, you roll a gold slot, it'll stop at that point. You understand
Is there not an option for like 80% on a green?
Yeah,
Does it have to be yellow?
So that's why I actually was about to say, I don't recommend you use the batch upgrade system as somebody with super limited resources. It's not worth it, right? Because maybe you don't want it to stop on a gold slot. Maybe you want to stop on a high green roll. So I actually wouldn't recommend you use the batch upgrade. So I wouldn't check that box for now. What we'll do is we will go ahead and, do we want to use 30 removers for this? I would actually go back, click close. And then, yeah, go back into that. And then I would say maybe do like 15. You could slide the slider, to 15. And then just click upgrade. And then let's see. So this is not the batch upgrade. It'll go through it slowly. And if we see it come close to 12. Oh, yeah, okay.
This has been happening a lot to me over the last day.
Well, we always record it like this time, so.
Well, no, I mean, it's not even just like daily reset. Like while I was doing story, I was literally 3 different times it interrupted and reset the game.
It might have been because it might have been like small patches they have. or data downloads for stuff to like bug fixes.
Oh yeah, Legends Pass, baby.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do all this later.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Characters, equip, re-upgrade, you.
Yeah, and go to 15, and then we're just going to keep our eye on the value. If it gets close to 12, I think it's probably good to click the stop button. You'll see there's a button you can just click to end the reroll. It'll just go automatically. See that stop button? Okay, so no, just don't click anything. It'll just keep going. 10. Okay, yeah, let it keep going. Nope. See how it's like kind of slow? In the batch upgrade, it will do this in like less than a second. It'll just zip through everything in like 2 seconds. But this is why they implemented that system, because this will take quite a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get lucky here. Yeah, we're getting pretty low rolls. God. Yep.
That is low, dude.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Do you like the equipment system?
Yeah, this is why I quit.
Yeah, so we can keep going. Just click continue. The more times you roll an equipment, it'll actually get more expensive in terms of Zenny to roll this. We're not really going to reach an issue with Zenny here because we have so much, but that is a resource that I think people will eventually run out of, which is why I said in the other video that the Zenny stage is probably the most important stage in the game. Yeah, we're getting pretty unlucky with this. This
Imagine
is why
just sitting on stream and doing this.
Yeah, this is why slot removers are also pretty valuable too, because you're going to need a lot. There will be a lot of slot removers over the course of the anniversary. I imagine there's going to be raid up the entire time. Raids are probably the best way to get slot removers in the game. There's like thousands of them in the exchange shop.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is not good. And this is also why I also said, do this with a Bonanza live. But we're just showing. We're just showing exactly why I said that, right? This is why you don't want to do this right now.
That roll was so bad it demoted the equip to B. I love that. God, that's so heart-wrenching seeing that.
Yeah, we can do one more attempt here of 15, and if we don't get anything, we can just move on. Because remember, we also have to do the third slot.
Oh my God, true. They should let you pick the best rate that you had among the ones that you just re-upgraded.
They actually used to have like a guarantee. They used to call it, I believe it was secure upgrade. And what it was is it was a roll. It was a normal upgrade, but if you get a lower roll, it doesn't pick that. But it was more expensive to do it that way. If we get anything over 10%, I'd say just end it.
Yeah. I mean, if we do. We've only got that once. We got over 10% like on the second.
Oh yeah, stop. Yep, but that's good enough. All right, end. And now we're gonna roll the third slot. So the third slot was, I believe, 35%.
Let me see. Oh wait, we have to go over here.
This might be a little harder just because whenever we have like these super high values, I've just found that it's usually harder to get good rolls on those, but we're looking for about 26, 27, 28 on this.
All right, we'll
see. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be tough. This is probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
Give me a red dot.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
What are the odds for a red dot? Like 0.01% or something?
That's actually, you know what? Just keep that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If you're, during the, no, don't continue. If you're feeling lucky during the Bonanza, there is, you could go back in for this one. By the way, I should also mention there are 3 different levels to Bonanzas. There is the normal equipment upgrade Bonanza, which is, it's just like a normal upgrade percentage increase. Then there are mega upgrade Bonanzas, which are pretty good. Those are pretty uncommon. I think we usually only have those like 3 or 4 times a year. But then we have ultra upgrade bonanzas. Those typically only happen twice a year. And it's usually during part 3 of the anniversary and part 3 of Legends Fest when the big ultra character drops. We'll see if they want to change things up, but ultra bonanzas are really when you should be upgrading everything and spending all of your resources, because you're really not going to get a better chance to upgrade equipment outside of the ultra upgrade bonanza.
Okay, we're going to have to do something for that.
Yeah, so this equip for all intents and purposes right now I'd consider just to be done for now. And then essentially what you're looking to do is just do that for the rest of these equips. Just take the max value of each slot, multiply it by 0.8%, and then that, or by 0.8, and that is really just your ballpark value that you want to get for the equipment. People are very obsessive over getting the max rolls. I mean, I put myself in that bucket as well, but for 99.99% of the players in this game, it really doesn't make a tangible difference to have an equipment that's an S rank, an equipment that's a Z rank, Z plus. It really doesn't matter. It's more so just a dick measuring contest at that point. The effect in the actual fight is going to be very small. But there we go. That is essentially what it means to reroll equips. And now you guys know how resource intensive it is. So if we go over to the exchange shop, this is kind of the last thing I think we need to show in this video for now. There are going to be multiple ways of getting slot removers, which is, again, you guys just saw the main way of actually getting rerolls on the equips. So this is the equipment metal shop. I would not recommend you spend any of your equipment metals on slot removers or anything else in here besides equipment. This is actually the only place where you can get past PvP equips. That's where you should be spending your equipment metals. So if you go to the PvP section here on top right, we have, these are all the PvP equips from past PvP seasons. Each PvP season has a specific equipment that is associated with it. If you just scroll through this, there's actually like a billion. There's so many. And a lot of these are good. God. A lot of these are very good. So if you guys are looking for equips, this could be a decent spot to start. A lot of the older ones aren't very good, but some of the ones that are closer to the top, like I would say the first, like, I don't know, the first like fifth of this menu is pretty good.
How long is the season of PvP?
They're usually 2 weeks. Sometimes they're 3 weeks.
Oh my God, this game's been around for 7 years.
Yep, and there's a lot of equips in there. But that's the main function, I would say, of equipment metals, at least for a beginner, is to buy equips from the PvP side of this shop here. As you saw, you could also use equipment metals to guaranteed upgrade equipment, which I would not recommend people do right now. But let's just go out of this menu for a second. Or go back to the exchange shop.
Oh.
And then if you go to the recommended tab, and then you just scroll down a little bit. So yeah, in there are certain shops like the event, like if you go into the adventure one, we talked about the adventures in the last video, you can get slot movers from here. If you go to the other tab, there's slot movers in there as well. If you go back, usually whenever they have campaigns going on, so if you scroll up click on like the question mark shop. This is the current PvP season shop. You get these question mark medals for playing PvP. There's going to be a bunch of stuff in here, and then I believe there should be a slot movers in the other tab. Yep, there's slot movers in there. So if you back out of here, and then you go to the other question mark one, this is the current like countdown to the anniversary celebration. You can get equipment medals or slot movers from here. So there's a lot of ways to get slot movers, but as the anniversary starts, you guys will see raids really are the best way to get slot removers. There are literally thousands of slot removers in the raid exchange shop, and their goal here is to just essentially force us to play the raid over and over and over again and grind the raid to get the slot removers. So that is why they do that. But that is the best way to get slot removers, is just playing raids over and over again, which will happen at the beginning of the anniversary.
For the equipment medals, that one you can only get by doing challenges, right?
Equipment medals you actually get from playing PvP as well. Treasure Battle gets you those, and equipment medals actually are a resource that's pretty rare. It's just something you get over the course of playing the game. You can't really grind them. So they are a pretty rare resource. You having this many is actually pretty, that's actually a lot. 13,000, that's a lot. Most people will not have that many.
Why do I have all that?
You might have gotten some of these from the Legends Festival gold plate shop, I would imagine.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So if we go back to the character screen, and then we go back to the Daima team, there's something else I want to show. There's two more things I want to talk about in this video. And you go to the party formation screen. There is a feature that will recommend equips for the team. So if you click on that little star icon, once you have your team built, and you click on equipment on the top right, it will actually recommend equips for you. This actually is pretty decent to use as a guide for the team, but it's not perfect. So you see that like Super Saiyan Goku like shooting the Kamehameha equip? No, the other one. Yep. It is recommending this, but if you long click on this and actually look at what it does, I think you have to click the bottom part, I think. Yeah. Slot 3 and slot 2 have a secondary effect. So not only are they giving blast attack and strike attack, but they're giving blast attack and strike attack when tag Daima and tag Super Saiyan as a battle member. So if you don't have a Daima Super Saiyan as a battle member, you actually won't get the benefits from this equipment. So it is recommending that you get this equipment, but if you don't have those conditions fulfilled, this is essentially a not very good equip. So even though this system will recommend equipment to you, I would just double check and make sure that you actually are going to have the conditions fulfilled for the equipment. Same thing with the Power Pole Goku equipment. If you go back, the one next to the one we just looked at. Yeah. This one also, slot 3. 15% strike attack if this character is tagged Weapon Wielder or Super Saiyan 2. Is Majin Ku a Super Saiyan 2 or Weapon Wielder? No. So it is recommending this, but it's not a very good equip for him. So always double check those things. This equip is actually really good. This is one that I would...
Yeah, this is a good one because it's just Daima.
Yeah, this is a really, really solid equipment. The only problem with this is it is a co-op equip, and you can only get it now with dual coins. So this is probably going to be one of our projects once one of the first bonanzas hits for the anniversary. We're probably going to just try and farm that one because that's a really good one. Okay. The other one we already got, the base form mini Goku one we got, and then some of the other ones aren't really that great. But again, it's not a perfect system, but this could be a good way to just like initially check what options are available. So back out of this. And then I would just back out of this also and go to the equipment menu again. There is a very helpful, basically like an equipment Pokedex on the top right called the Archive. This is a way you can check basically every single equipment in the game that is available. Some are not going to be available. So you see that like laughing Goku in the middle of the screen? If you go to how to get, you actually can't get this one right now. And the reason why is because this was a PvP season equip that was pretty recent, and they haven't added this yet to the equipment metal shop. That equipment actually is going to be really good for Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. So once they add that to the equipment metal shop, it might be good to probably pick up a few of those. But yeah, this is actually the event equip I was talking about before, where it exists just to give metal drops from raids. But this was like the 5th anniversary or something. It was like the 4th anniversary like raid or something. It was super, super old. I don't know why they don't remove those, but yeah, this is a good way to just check what equips exist for characters. You can also go on the top in the filter and just filter by like certain tags. Like let's say you're using Daima. You can go into the tag and just go, click on that, scroll all the way down, Daima top left, and then we can see what equips exist for the Daima tag. So yeah, this is a good way to just check like what equips are even available for my team that I'm using and the characters. So that's a good way to check this. If we go back, the last thing I do want to quickly talk about is Equipment Awakening on the top middle. This is probably a system that most beginners are not going to touch. This, if you guys remember back to the last video we did talking about the Ultra Space Time Rush event, this is a system that is basically tied to the Ultra Space Time Rush event. If you click on the 3 dots or the 3 things in the bottom right, and then go to the just go to events. Go to events. We'll go to it from this screen so we show everything. If you go to the I think it's recommended, and then you scroll down and you see the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush. Yeah, click on that. and then you click on the exchange shop in the top, this is the currency you get from this mode. And if you go to the other menu and scroll down in this menu, you'll see that this is where you purchase the game calls the memories for the awakened equipments. So while these are just gold equips, they're not platinum equipments, they're not unique equipments, they are super mega powerful versions of gold equipments that are just like an upgraded step above the gold equips that we've talked about. So for example, if you scroll down a little bit, click on that Super Saiyan 4 Goku one. This is actually a really good equip for Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You'll notice that there's just a ton of stats here that this is not like, you would not see this on a normal gold equipment. So we have 15% to, this is also, I guess, a good opportunity for me to explain this. 15% to base strike attack, 15% to base strike defense, and then 15% to base blast defense just in one slot. That's 45% to stats just from one slot. That is a lot. Now notice the second slot, 15% to strike attack when tagged Super Saiyan 4 as a battle member. Notice the difference in the wording between the first slot and the second slot. The first slot says base strike attack. Second slot just says strike attack. There is actually a big difference between base stats and what we call pure stats. And typically when we're looking for equipment, we want to make sure we have a good balance of base stats and pure stats. It's really hard to get into the exact reasoning why it's important to have both, but I guess the basic way to explain this is base stats build up the base of the character, which is what the name implies, but then the pure stats amplify the stats the more base stats you have. So it's basically almost like pure stats are almost like a coefficient of that multiply into the base stat you have. So the more base stats you have, the more powerful pure stats are. So that's why it's good to have a mixture of good base stats and good pure stats. So that is something to look for. Typically when we have pure stats on equipment, they usually don't give a ton of value or like super high value for those because it's so powerful. But it is good to just look for equipment that have pure stats on them because it is just super, super strong. This one has 15% to pure strike attack, and it's got 15% to pure blast defense in slot 3. So it is pretty good considering you're getting a ton of base stats in slot 1. So this is a really, really good equip. And this is something that we can expect to see from equipment like awakened equips, like unique equips. So yeah, this is something to look for.
We need to buy a bunch of these like during the bonanza to see if we can get a good first roll.
Yeah. This is I use this on my Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It's really, really good. So I guess we could try and do one of these just to show what it looks like. What I would do, just buy like 2 of these. Yeah, buy like 2 of those. Yep. And if you go over back to the Equipment Awakening menu, and you'll see that there's now 2 there because you bought 2 memories. Click select, and it'll bring you over to this screen. So there are different kinds of currencies that you actually need for this. In my opinion, this is a currency that should be removed from the game, but there are fragments, which is what those purple things are at the top. You actually need these fragments to do the Equipment Awakening, and the way you get this is by running that same event, Ultra Space Time Rush. You get those from running the event, and you could also buy additional of those with the Ultra Space Time Rush currency medals, and there is another currency called Fragment Medals, which you can use to buy more of those fragments. Something else to note, and this is actually where equipment medals come into play once again, is you'll notice we actually need an A rank of the base gold version of this awakened equip. You see that where it says that A rank Goku on the left, where it's like not filled in? Okay, so what we're gonna do is every single equipment that can be awakened, you can buy the base of that equip from the equipment medal shop. So go back to the exchange shop. Yep. And then go down to the equipment medal shop. So what I would do, I think it's an event equip. I don't remember. This is where it gets to know. You're gonna have to like search for it in this menu. There's no way to like filter. I think it's in here. If it's not in here, then it's got to be in the PvP one. I think it's here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so so what I would do is, because we bought 2 of the memories and we need 1 of this and we need 4 other equips, what I typically do is I just buy 10 of these. For somebody who doesn't have a lot of equipment medals, it's probably better just to buy the 2 of this that you need and then buy 8 other equips, or just farm 8 equips from a different event so you don't waste more equipment medals. But because we have a lot of equipment medals, it doesn't really matter. So click OK. And then we're going to go back to the equipment screen. And what we're going to do is we're just going to upgrade all of these at the same time. Yep. Yep. And then we're just going to upgrade. Yep. You're going to click the button twice. Hopefully we get 2 A ranks, because we need 2 A ranks. Okay, perfect. Actually got an S rank. All right, let's go OK. And then we're going to go back to the Equipment Awakening screen. Yep, same equip. And now you'll see that it, if you click auto select, it will pick the equips. Oh, actually, it's using older equips for us. Okay, I guess you just had some garbage in your inventory it's gonna pick. If you want to just use the ones we did, you can manually select them, but it doesn't really make it. Yeah, you can just use these. It's fine. There's a misconception. A lot of people think that the higher the rolls are on the equips that you're using to sacrifice to make this equip will impact the rolls for the awakened equip. That is not the case. It is just random. So let's go. Actually,
dude, can I be honest?
Yeah.
I'm incredibly put off by how much we have to do just for this one step.
Yeah, this is the worst system in the game. This is the single worst system in the entire game is Equipment Awakening, and there is not a single person that will deny that.
Why hasn't this been changed or streamlined or removed?
I don't know. I don't think they'd remove it because it is so ingrained in the game at this point. But there needs to be a better way. They should remove fragments. They should only have you need to do 1 of the base equip. And it should just be like ingrained in the base game where you could like just go into the main equip and upgrade it directly from there. I think is what they should do.
Doing all this, we don't even guarantee we're going to get a good roll in this first dock, right?
What's going to happen is you're going to roll this and it's going to be like the worst roll. Yeah, go ahead. Do it. Remember, 15%. It's actually not horrible. It could be way worse, but it's not. Yeah, it's not great. All right, we got one more try. Let's see what you get. You got to click auto select again. Yep. Let's go. So this is Equipment Awakening. This
better.
Yeah, but sure. This is Equipment Awakening. For a beginner in the game, there are much more efficient and better uses of your resources than going through and doing the Equipment Awakening system. I would just say stick to doing the Ultimate Equipment Collection for unique equips. Go to the Equipment Metal Shop, buy some equips from there. Go to the other events that exist in the game. Go to the co-op shop. Maybe try your luck and use some dual coins and the unique equips in there. Probably save this for last unless you absolutely have no other options for getting equips, because this system is really bad. It's time consuming, it's resource intensive, and there's just it's not a very efficient way of using resources, especially for a new account. But I just
also, this kind of reinforces what you were saying about it's better to just go for the 80% rule and to really not go for anything more than that, because if you were to and then you try to pursue like an awakened version of it, all that effort was for an older version of your equip.
Yeah, it's also the fact that as a new player, you're going to want to be re-rolling a lot of different equipments. And so if you spend 80% of your slot removers rolling 1 slot on 1 equipment, like, sure, you might get a good roll, but then you don't have anything left for the other equipment in your account. So it's really about managing resources, this entire equipment system. So I would say it's much better to just, not settle for perfection, but settle for, just a solid roll instead. But yeah, here we have the 2 awakened equips. Again, not a very good system, and I would say not a very good use of your resources. But I just wanted to show what it looked like so you guys at least understood how the system works and why it's bad. So
I have 84 slot removers left after all this.
Yeah, so we will be able to farm a bunch of slot removers during the anniversary once raids start happening, and they start giving slot removers out for doing like just breathing and logging into the game. Trust me, when the anniversary starts, slot removers will be raining from the sky. But right now, yeah, there's actually so this year in Legends, they've actually done a really, really good job of having raids up pretty much the entire year. It's only this past like 2 weeks where we haven't had a raid up at all. So I expect when the anniversary starts, we'll just get absolutely bombarded by many different ways to get slot removers.
Sounds good.
So that's really it. I mean, this was like an hour straight of talking about the highs and lows of the equipment system. Is there anything you have questions on? Because I know this is a pretty convoluted system, and I think when it comes to like beginners in this game, this is probably the most confusing system that exists.
I don't really have any questions. The only one that I had was about the equip like parameters, but yeah, so far everything made sense, and I hate it. So okay. I guess that means I really understand.
Yep, you got it. If you hate it, that means you get it. All right, well, there we go. That is going to be episode 4, equipment in the Dragon Ball Legends Beginner's Guide. We will come back soon with the 5th episode, which most likely will be about Shallot, the main character of the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.